Okay guys, how's it going today? So it's actually right around now it's above zero. I think it was supposed to get 16 today, but with the wind it's going to feel like a little bit colder. Right now I think it was about zero with the wind, so not bad. I still wore my entire winter gear setup. You can see right now, since I'm in the yard, I'm just wearing my regular hat and I'm wearing my smaller gloves. Just because I'll be in the shop and I won't freeze as much. It's not that bad out, but it helps that there's not much of a breeze. That's what helps. So, but yeah, so what was that? Oh, power company is back out again. They're replacing all the pole lights here in town with LED lights. I had one in my yard done, guys. I think I made a video on it. And then yesterday they did the one in front of my house here, and I like that. I really like the LEDs. They're really bright and they're hard on the eyes, but just don't look at them, you'll be all right. But they really do a nice job of lighting up the yard. My front yard's actually more lit up now because they put the LED one in instead of that amber one. Well, it looks amber on it's semi-amber. I don't know. But yeah, so I really like that idea. So I know they put the one back up at the farm. They finally did that because they took that one down in front of the farm by mistake, and they weren't supposed to do that, but they did it. So we had kind of a struggle trying to get them to put it back up, but whatever. So what they finally did it, and they put an LED one up. So it's really nice. But anyways, we got a little bit of bad news about Big Red. I don't know. Well, I got two things to talk about with Big Red. The first thing was my fault. I broke the dipstick, and what happened is, well, Big Red sprung a leak, and at first I thought maybe it was the drain, the oil drain plug. I think there's supposed to be a copper gasket on that, and I thought maybe it went bad because, it's 10 years old now, so, everything's still original pretty much. And I thought, okay, maybe that sprung a leak. Well, I didn't feel like crawling around on the fucking ground, to really check, to see where it was coming from. But yesterday I figured, well, I better add some oil because it was down. And I guess with Polaris, or I don't know, maybe it's just these type of engines, I don't really know. Taking the dipstick out while the engine's running is a bad idea because it snapped that one in half. So now I got to order a new one, which isn't the end of the world because it's only like $20, so it's not that bad. But I'm going to call the repair shop here in the next couple of days and see if they can order me one, and it'll take care of that problem. Don't know what's going to happen to the other half that's in the motor. I've ran the four-wheeler twice now with it being like that, and the engine hasn't grenaded yet. So I don't know if the engine will suck it up or not, but if it does, whatever. But it's warm enough now where I can crawl around. So I crawled around underneath Big Red. I looked at the plug. The plug is perfectly fine. It's clean. But I did notice that there was like icicles hanging from the bottom of the four-wheeler, and they were brown. Okay, so that's oil freezing a little bit. And it's like, well, that's kind of strange because it's right where the oil filter's at. It's got the hole there, through the skid plate. That's where you can pull your filter from. So I thought, oh, maybe it's the filter. Maybe the gasket went out on the filter, and when it's under pressure, it leaks. But then something caught my eye going up the side of the block. So apparently, like most engines, I guess there's the head and then there's your block. Well, then usually to sandwich them two together, you have to have a gasket in between that. And I think the gasket went out on Big Red, on the it'd be the passenger side. Because another thing that's throwing it off too is that on the passenger side, there's a drive shaft there, and that's to power the front wheels when you have the four-wheel drive on. So you have a drive shaft going to the front. Well, that drive shaft is covered in oil. And I didn't think nothing of it at first. I was like, it could just be maybe, water or snow melting when it hits it. But the way it's not disappearing, like water would when it dries up, oil just seems to kind of stay there and it just kind of leaves a nasty film there. Well, that's what it is. It's a nasty film of frickin' oil. So, and then I looked where the head meets the block. Of course, you got bolts that go up into it from the bottom. Usually they would go from the top, but I think with these Sportsmans, these 2010s, I think they flipped the engine they tipped it upside down and they rotated a certain degree. And that's what Polaris did to give you maximum space with these, to give you maximum space, for your feet, and then so you don't have your legs, so wide. It's more of a comforting fit, and so they did that with that engine to get it to be more comfortable for you. That working on it is still going to be a pain in the ass, but changing the oil is not so bad, but it's still a pain in the ass. But then I looked at the bolts that were up in there, and I just looked at them, and there's oil, a little drip of oil on the bottom, on the heads of the bolts. So that's telling me that when the four-wheeler is running, oil is seeping through where that gasket should be at. It's slowly dripping down, and then it leaks onto the floor. Now, I checked it before I went to the farm today. The floor was dry. And then I ran Big Red. I did what I had to do. And I went home. Fresh drips. So, now I don't know if this will be a continuous problem or if it's just because it's been so cold and the block, is warming up, and then this and that and this and that, Now you have to remember that head and the block and the gasket that's in between that is all 10 years old. And it's all original. I've never touched it, so, and I don't think I'm going to be honest with you, because unless it stops, if the oil leak stops, in the summertime, then that's fine. I'm not going to be too concerned about it. But it's just that if it continues to leak throughout the summer, even if it's just a small drip is unacceptable, because then I know that I'm leaking oil. And yes, I will have a new dipstick. I'm going to try to get one. Like I said, I'm going to try to order one here in the next couple of days, and I'll pick it up on payday. Because I got to be able to keep an eye on my oil level, and I can't do that right now because the original dipstick is broken. So I'm just guessing it off by how many drips of oil are on the floor. So if there's a puddle of oil on the floor, then I will add a puddle of oil back into the system. So I have a couple of bottles. I don't know if that'll get me through, through the rest of the winter. I mean, winter crisis should be ending pretty fucking soon. I'm so tired of it. But we're getting kind of a warm up now a little bit, so that might help. But if it continues to leak even in the summertime, I'm just going to keep running it the way it is. But then I'm going to have to decide what to do with Big Red, because I'm not putting any more money into this. I put in so much money into the transmission already to have that fixed. For the shifter, that was $1,200 fucking dollars, and I know to have them take the head off, replace the gasket, put the head back on, torque everything back to specs, and everything. You're probably talking another $1,200. I'd have to, maybe even more. I don't know. I don't know what this guy would charge me. I know what I paid to have the shifting fixed, and that was just slightly over $1,200. And I'm not doing it again, because you know what? I haven't even had Big Red for a year yet. since he was fixed, and he's already having another breakdown again. Mind you, this breakdown is not a major problem. You can deal with the leaks, but then when you want to work on shit, then it's all oily and, shit sticks to it, and it just causes issues. And then you have to constantly check your oil levels, so unfortunately, depending on how, I don't know if I want to bother fixing it again, sending him back to the repair shop to have this oil leak fixed. I don't know if the bolts come loose. That could be a possibility. I haven't checked the bolts, they could maybe just have come loose, but I kind of doubt it, because Big Red's been through this for 10 years, this up and down of the colds, and then getting really, really cold, and then getting really, really hot, I just, I don't know if I can justify even keeping Big Red. I might just try to see if I can run him to fall, and then I might have to get a new four-wheeler. I still want a four-wheeler. I still need one because, they're nice to have at the farm. But it's just that, I don't know. I can't justify spending, maybe another $1,200. That might be what it costs to fix it. And then I have to go probably another month without a four-wheeler, because it took Big Red a month to even get fixed the first time, but that's because they were so backed up. But, there's a lot of people around here that have machines, and they're breaking down all the time, and I imagine, he's busy. So Big Red went there last time. I think he sat for 2 weeks because he was trying to get caught up, and then it took him another 2 weeks to just fix it, So Big Red was gone for pretty much a month, and wasn't complaining because I knew that he was there, and he was just he was waiting to get repaired. So I figured, okay, well, they'll get to it when he's next in line, So, but I don't know. If I had tons of money to blow, then it wouldn't be a problem. But now is really a bad time to be pissing oil, because we could get another snowstorm yet, and I still might have to plow a couple more times. I don't know, but like I said, it's not pouring out, so it's not really an issue that you have to be too concerned about. But there is a small drip going on there now, and it seems like it only drips when it's hot. So that it's obviously things are opening up, and I'm guessing that gaskets, could be cracked or, just it's wore out, so. But I don't know. Think about it. You put another $1,200 into him again to fix it, because I might as well just say that it's going to be another $1,200 to fix it. And I already put $1,200 into Big Red last year. Do the math. Do the math on that. That's a lot of money to be spending on a four-wheeler in 2 years, and the damn thing's 10 years old. Like, where do you draw the line? I know that the newer ones are expensive, but, at least then with a new four-wheeler, hopefully I could go another 5-6 years, hopefully, without any freaking problems. And another thing, too, is Big Red. I still have that draining issue with the battery dying. I don't know where the juice goes. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. That's also annoying the fuck out of me. Because when I was at the farm trying to get the tractors to run, Big Red sat for those hours. And I had to be jump-started to just even, get back to the house, Now, being jump-started wasn't the worst thing in the world because, obviously, I had the tractor batteries there and they were 12 volts. So, just hooked up the jumper cables and waited a few seconds and it popped off and went. So, that's why another thing too, that's why Big Red's always on the maintainer, is to keep the battery fully charged at all times, because I don't know why it's draining. I shouldn't be having draining issues in my battery. And that could be a number of things too causing that. But to have that fixed or looked at, that could probably cost a couple $100. You know, it's just like, when do you draw the line? It's like, I was kind of hoping to keep Big Red for the rest of my life. I don't really want to sell him, but what do? You know? When do you stop putting money into a machine? So, that full light's been done already, buddy. I don't know what he's putting outriggers for, but I don't know. That pole light's already been upgraded to an LED, so I don't know what the hell they're doing there. Let's just double checking it, but I mean, what do? I don't have $1,200, you know, and who knows when we'll get that next, you know, well, I think they're saying $1,400 now, but you know, from that government money, and who knows when the fuck we'll get that. They're saying next month we should be getting it. Well, that's what they said this month and last month, and we never got it. You know, because nobody just wants to, you know, make America easy. So I can't rely on that. And you know, that $1,400 that I get, you know, should that money really go into Big Red? I mean, you know, like, I don't know what to do anymore. You know, the dipstick will be an easy fix, so I'm not concerned about it, but you know, like I said, if that oil leak continues, now it might dry up and stop doing that in the summertime, but you know, what about next winter? You know, because now mind you, I probably won't be running Big Red quite as much, because hopefully by then I'll have a snowblower that I can use that to move snow and not use Big Red anymore. But I mean, it's just, what do? You know? And the four-wheeler I was looking at, that one was going to cost more, but that's just because it was a limited edition, and that probably won't be out by then. But I was just looking at another $850. I don't think I'm going to get a 1000 because they're just not necessary. That's just ridiculously too much power. I don't need all that power. And they're a lot more money, and they don't have a lot of colors. I think they only have like 1 or 2 colors, and they're both uglier than hell. I don't know what happened to them not having, you know, colors that you could pick from. I mean, that's the way it was with these 2010s. You had, you know, a few different color options, and then of course red was one of them. This red that I have now, that was one of them. And yeah, I think there was a black and then a camo, and you know, there was a few things that you could, you know, a few colors that you could pick from. And now they just don't have that. And it's like, well, you are telling people that you're expecting people to pay all this money for a new machine, but yet then you're limiting us on colors, and a lot of them are ugly. But that Velocity Blue that I saw, there was a Velocity Blue, and then there was something orange, and those 2 colors I like, so I'd be happy with either one of those. But the problem is that those are a limited edition, and I don't know how long they're going to come out with those. So, you know, it might just be for a couple of months, and then that's the end of it, or I don't know. I don't know what to fucking think. You know, I know that there is somebody about 30 minutes from here. They're selling I think it's a 550. But I think it's slightly newer. I think it's like a 2013. But I think it only had like 1,300 miles. Like, it was very low mileage. But they wanted like $4,500 for it. You know, so I don't know if it would justify. I mean, what's the reasons for them getting rid of it? You know, it's like, does it have problems, or is it just because they're not driving it as much? Sounds like they're not really driving it much, but just for how low the miles are in such an old machine. But I mean, what do? So I don't know if I really want to buy somebody else's mess either, even though I do it all the time. I bought that 1586, you know, that tractor is, you know, But it is what it is. So it's just a tractor. But I don't know. You guys tell me what to do. Tell me what you would do or what. I don't know. It's just, for me, I think it's time to just retire Big Red and move on. Trade him in for something else. Let him be somebody else's mess. But I wanted to also keep Big Red because, even if I got another four-wheeler, Big Red would still become, he would be a work machine, but then he wouldn't be a joyriding machine. That's what the other four-wheeler would become, the new one. The new one would be just for driving to the farm, checking on the cows, going out into the field and stuff like that, driving around town. And then Big Red would be the work machine. He'd be running a sprayer, tillage work, tree pulling, that kind of stuff. He's a work machine. That's what he's always been, so he might as well just stay a work machine. But if I could minus two things, plowing snow and joyriding with him, that would take so much stress off of Big Red, because I know the two things that are killing him the most is plowing snow and joyriding a lot. So if I could eliminate that, at least just those two things, Big Red would have a little bit of a better life, but I don't know if I can justify sending Big Red back in again. Because if that's the problem, that gas gets blown out, and if it continues to leak even in the summertime, I don't know if I can justify doing it again, because it's just another $1,200, probably even more, probably even less, I don't know. But I'm just going to say $1,200 because this was a nightmare. For him to have to pull the transmission out, I'm sure that wasn't exactly the funnest thing to do in the world. So pulling a head's not going to be any funner, because all that's got all that fucking shit on top of it. So I know that would just be, he's getting paid for that, and that's obviously what he likes to do. He likes to work on machines. And that's fine. I don't have a problem with that, so, but it's my pocket that gets hurt. It's my bank account that takes a beating from this, So, what the hell do you do, So, I don't know. Trying to watch see what the hell he's doing, but kind of weird, but yeah, I don't know. I just can't, I don't know what to do. I really can't justify putting more money into him, when he's just, it seems like every year he's having more issues, and it's one after another. And now I got this oil leak from the side of the motor. And that would happen to Big Red when he, in the wintertime, when he would start it up and then take off right away. That's how he would leak oil through the engine. But now he's leaking oil, even after just, sitting there and warming up. It's leaking now, So it doesn't matter if I take off now or not right away, because it's going to piss oil regardless. So, I don't know. It's just, it's killing my bank account, and I'm sick and tired of putting money into a machine that I should not have to. I feel like Big Red should have went 10 years without any freaking problems. I shouldn't be having issues. Now, if I get a new four-wheeler, sure, I could have problems with that too, but, it's kind of, I guess, just a gamble you take, so. But I'm taking a gamble living in my house too. I could have issues with my house, which I do have issues with my house too, but they're beyond what I can ever pay for, and I'm not even going to waste my money on it. So, right now, anyway. So, I don't know. I don't know. But for me, I don't know if keeping Big Red another year is going to happen. I'm going to have to keep him until the fall, but I don't know. It all just boils down to what the oil does. If it leaks in the summertime, then yeah, I don't think I'm going to waste more money onto it. I might as well, put that money towards a new machine, and then not have to worry about anything breaking. Right now I could be worrying about, you know, the gearbox is giving out, you know, because they pulled a lot of heavy shit in their time. You know, it's a number of things that could break now at this point. So I just don't know. Not really too sure. So, but I don't really know what else to do. I mean, I guess you guys can kind of you guys can leave your input, but I'm just getting kind of tired of it. You know, I'm getting sick and tired of seeing problems all the time. I just want a freaking machine that I can, you know, run for close to 10 years and not have any goddamn problems. You know? So, and if it's leaking oil now, which is surprising how it didn't leak oil earlier on when it was so damn bloody cold. But maybe that's what damaged it too, is that, you know, I'm running Big Red when it's minus 1560 out and cold. You know, maybe that's what did it in, but I've done it in the past too and never had any issues, so I don't know. I'll keep an eye on it for the rest of the winter, and then if it keeps pissing in the middle of summer, well, I don't know. Might be time for a new machine, because I really just can't. I don't know if I can justify putting more money into it again. You know, this is kind of, I guess, one of the reasons why people, you know, they always trade their stuff off after a few years, because you know there's going to be problems. But I can't justify buying new machines all the time either. So I don't know. But I still want to keep, you know, I still want to have a four-wheeler, like I said, because they're nice to have. So I kind of always want to keep one around, but I guess when they get to be a certain age, you know, it's time to let them go. It's time to move on. But like I said, I was hoping to keep Big Red because he could become just a work machine, you know, and not anything else. But I guess, I don't know. I don't know. Big Red has a lot of minor problems, and then, you know, it's just, you know, now you got this oil leak. Right now, that's a minor problem because it's such a slow drip. But, well, it's a drip, but it's slow. So, I mean, it's not going to affect anything as of right now. But if it gets to the point where it's pouring out like a river, you know, then yeah, it's just time. It's just time to park it and move on. Move on to something else. So, but I don't know. Anyways, guys, I guess I'm going to take off. Made this video long enough. And, yeah. Whatever. So, I don't know. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll see what happens. If it continues to leak, I guess even in the wintertime or in the summertime, well, then, you know, it's going to be a problem. So, but I'm not fixing it. I don't think I'm putting any more money into it. I don't know if I can justify it because it's just, you know, old machine and a lot of miles and had an extremely hard life, and it's just Big Red's wore out, I guess. It's got fairly good new tires on it too, and so I mean basically Big Red I think would probably just end up being a parts machine, you know, so to somebody else, but not to me. So I don't know. But yeah, anyways, guys, I guess I'm going to take off. So I guess have a good day and stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Take her easy.